Hey everybody, it's Greg from Real Wealth Solutions. I want to make a quick video about using your calendar. That's actually why I'm doing this video right now, because at 3:30 today it popped up on my calendar, and I'm in the mindset now where if it's not on my calendar, I'm probably not going to do it. So I've been a bit of a book jockey on the execution subject, read The One Thing, The Compound Effect, recently read Deep Work and The Four Disciplines of Execution. Lighting's not too great there. What I found is like every single one of them is saying control your time, be regimented about controlling your time. So for the past 3 or 4 weeks, I've tried to implement that, basically putting on my calendar pretty much every minute of the day what I'm going to be doing, with the exception of the weekends. I'm moving towards that. I'm finding that if I also don't plan my leisure time, that it becomes kind of a loose lost time, and it may be quote unquote wasted. So we'll get into that one maybe a little bit in a different video. But about 85% compliant on it. So I just wanted to share a couple of strategies that I've found are working. Is at the end of the day, about 5:30, I shut the laptop and I'm like, I'm done working, except for planned calls and maybe for if the phone rings and I see it's somebody that I need to talk to, I'll talk to them about business. But otherwise, I'm being very I'm guarding my non-working time a lot more than I used to, because I'm getting so much more of the needed work is being done during the day. So, 5 to 5:30, I'm planning the next day sitting in my chair. So that's everything from meetings to walking the dog to breaks to downtime. And what dawned on me is that it's not necessarily planning your day so that every minute is consumed with work, is so that every minute is consumed with productivity, and productivity has to include your downtime, and productivity also has to include leaving enough time on the ends of the tasks in your calendar to give that task the justice it needs to be a valuable experience. So I'll put it into the context of calls. I think many of us are guilty of jumping from a 2 o'clock call to a 3 o'clock call to a 3:30 call, and so on. And what I think is getting lost in that is the prep time beforehand and the evaluation time afterwards. So what I ended up doing, I'll put it in the context of our podcast, is we've got a podcast recording that starts at 9:30. I'm blocking 9 to 11. So from 9 to 9:30, I'm doing prep. I'm more well-prepared host. If I'm going into a podcast where I feel unprepared, it doesn't sit well with me. I don't know if people can tell or not, but I know I can tell. So I'm setting, I'm going into that experience with a little bit of anxiety. That's a completely controllable aspect. I just need to plan the prep time. Afterwards is when I do my write-up for the copy that will end up being the promotion. What would happen previously is that we would have a podcast. I might jump onto another media call. Kim would do the editing and do all the marketing. That podcast would go live in 3 or 4 weeks, and I'd be like, I can hardly remember what we talked about, and it would take me having to review the podcast in order to write an authentic amount of copy about the impact it had on me and what I thought was valuable. So by affording enough time to properly prepare, engage with, and then digest and put my thoughts down immediately. The end result is when that podcast goes to publish, I have on file already um, some good, clear, authentic copy of what my takeaways were because they were written immediately after the experience. So I think, extrapolate that kind of thing to just calls with investors, business partners. Are we really getting the most out of these calls by not preparing for them properly, engaging with them because we have a clear mind during the process, and then being able to follow up or digest or evaluate or write notes on about them after the fact? So that's a very long-winded way of saying when you plan your calendar, give yourself the adequate time to do what is necessary to make what you have put on your calendar and has therefore said it's an important task to give it the time you need in order to get the most out of it. So um, part of like what was in deep work here was emphasizing downtime. So downtime to me has gotten as important as anything else. So lunch is scheduled in there, dog walks are scheduled on there. Um, really just going for a walk or even um, sitting quietly in a chair and not being distracted by social media and email refreshing or whatever else is going on. I'll leave that for another video, but yeah, I'm just curious, what calendar hacks have you guys found successful? And if you haven't gone 3 or 4 weeks into being serious about planning your day, your week, your weekend, I suggest you do it. I have seen my productivity increase quite a bit and my anxiety level go down. What else can you ask for besides that? So appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Love to hear your comments below, and we'll see you later. Thanks.